what's up, everybody? I'm here at the Big Brother 15 press junket with one of our newest house guests. You want to tell everybody your name and where you're from? What's up, man? My name is McCrae Olsen, and that's McCrae's first name. Gotta give him first name. All right, McCrae. It's really gonna be tough to have that system of, keeping me, confident and stuff like that. That's gonna be really tough for me. So I'm just gonna have a mantra that I keep in my head of like, what do you do up in Minnesota? Minnesota, I'm a delivery pizza boy. Keep going on, keep fighting, that kind of stuff. That's my thing. I love being a delivery pizza boy. That's a good attitude, McCrae. I like what you're putting out there. I like how you're topping the pizza. You got the delivery pizza boy haircut though. Hey, what's up, man? I mean, you said it. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I think it's kind of fun being a pizza boy. I'm proud of it, kind of, It's cool. Yeah. Own what you do. No matter what you do, own it. Yeah, exactly. I like that, McCrae. I like McCrae's attitude. Thank you.
Hello and welcome back to On the Block. Appreciate you tuning in for the rest of our Big Brother Canada 3 end of game breakdowns, interviews. We've got we've had a lot more coming in the next couple of days. Thanks for joining us. Make sure you share this link, tweet it out so other people can watch. And if you do have questions and you watch this live, you can tweet them using hashtag AskOTBPod. And if it's a good game question, we'll throw it up there and then let her answer it. But first, I want to give a special thanks to co-host McCrae Olsen, who works tirelessly at improving our production quality from last season to this season. I think that you can all agree, as our loyal watchers know, our production quality has increased quite a bit. Our audio is good, our video is good, our overlays are awesome, and the man that keeps that going on, in addition to the other task of the podcast, McCrae Olsen. What's up, buddy?
That means a lot to me, actually. That's big. But again, I couldn't do it without Earth Dog. Earth Dog is the one that does all the overlays, all the commercials, all the little advertisements for people like our guest tonight, Willow MacDonald. Thank you for being on the show. Thank you so much. This is awesome.
We love you.
I'm allowed to
You're very, yeah, exactly.
I can't believe I'm on the blog.
Welcome.
Dreams come true, everyone. Dreams do come true.
Whatever. Yeah, whatever. We
really
appreciate
glad
it.
to have you. Glad to have you on here. So,
honor.
You were an awesome house guest this season. You were tons of fun, very entertaining. And anyway, you're awesome to meet Niagara. Marilyn and I, we both talked about how sweet you were and enjoyed visiting with you. And anyway, it is so awesome to finally sit down and talk with you. Glad we got this all worked out. There's lots of direct messages, lots of text messages to get this coordinated, but it finally came together. And we are glad you're here. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Let's do this, boys.
Let's do it.
Excellent.
Let's
Good.
Cheers.
Great attitude.
Cheers.
Oh, cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers all around.
Thanks for everybody for watching. Oh my God, this is.
Oh yeah, there's I think there's like 93 people watching right now. So hello everybody.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's a lot of.
Dude, I
people.
noticed when you tweeted out some stuff earlier, Willow, there was a ton of people that favored it and retweeted it. So you
got some fans.
A lot of love coming
Yeah,
your way.
you got some
Lots of love.
fans.
They're so loyal. They're so sweet. I can't believe it, but like they love me and I love them, and I just you're in there and you don't realize it, but you're like, man, like. They know everything about me. They quote me. They know me better than myself. I love them. Love it.
I think a part of it is that you were just such a genuine person in the house. There was no fake anything about it. You were just so genuine. Like you played with your heart on your sleeve. I don't know. You were a great hamster because you were just such a real person. And I think that the reason you have so many fans is because they all relate with you. Like, you were the most real out of the whole entire season, I feel. And it's like, for entertainment purposes, it was the best. Like, I mean, for all purposes, it's the best. But, man, you put on a show for us. It was great. It was definitely great.
Excellent. Well, hey, let's walk them through the beginning, just like we do with every show. Since people that do watch and listen to this podcast are interested in playing the game one day, they've got to go through that casting process. So first, tell them how you got involved with the show, how you became aware of Big Brother, and where your fandom grew from, and get us all the way through casting up to the point where you enter the house. Tell us all about that, as much detail as you can.
Okay, the story of Willow. I saw season 1. So this is way back. The game is completely different at season 1, Big Brother US, and you guys know this as well. And I fell in love with it, and I knew at 10 years old, I was like, I can do this. Like, this is for me. And I fell in love with it, and I watched it grow, and then I watched, like, season 3 is my favorite season. When they bring in the veto and all these variables and how people had to relate to them and had to kind of adapt to them. And I was like, as more as the comps got into, I was like, this is even more up my alley. And I would be in school and I would write these papers about like how my dream was to be on Big Brother and how I was going to move to US, marry a US man, get my citizenship and get on. Because for some reason, Big Brother Canada never came to my mind, and I don't know why. But then the dream came true and they made Big Brother Canada. Unfortunately, though, I was in, and we've all been there, I was in a relationship, and I was young and in love, and he told me not to try out for season 1, so I did not. And we broke up, and then I was like, what did I do? So I tried it for season 2, and I made it to semis, and I knew reading, Dan Giesling and so many people, Frank, like there's so many people that, aren't one and dones, that, you try it and you keep going. And I think as a super fan, it's harder for us to do a one and done because of the pressure we put on ourselves. And so after season 2, I dusted myself off and I went to season 3. In season 2, I did an open cast call, and I had the time of my life. I found it very easy. I'm a people person, and I was just myself. That's who I am. I was like, I'm just going to be Willow and go with it. And I got to semis and then was stopped there. But I learned a lot about myself. When I got to so then the next year, I moved to Calgary from Nova Scotia. I was like, you know what, I'm just going to do a video. Again, that was super fun. I would do either or, like, I had fun doing my video.
We talked about actually. Spencer pointed me to your video, like during the season, actually, and I've like after that, I started pointing people to your video, being like, "What was that?"
She said that's
not my
tell
video.
her about that. It's not her video. Yeah, she told me that Niagara. Yeah.
What? What about it?
Yeah.
It's I took a spin off that. Like that was something I was getting like. And I'm not gonna lie, like I worked very hard in the video, and I was working myself up. I actually went to the mountains one day in Banff, and I just took my phone and I just started talking, and I was myself, and it was so much easier. That's in my room, just trying to shoot out things, and you can see like I stutter and I'm getting too mixed up, and I was like, no, like this isn't right. But I did send that to my friends and family, and I think they sent that out thinking I got on with that, but it's not. I will send the real one out on YouTube.
Please
to
do.
show you guys.
Please do.
Right.
Because that one was awesome.
I thought that was really
fantastic.
good. I mean, that
I thought it seemed very genuine. Okay.
Yeah, it highlighted like you did it in one take. There was no cuts. Like I thought that was kind of an idea. See, the problem is like I didn't do a video, so I have no idea like how to do the videos. Spencer, I think you're kind of in the same boat. Yeah. So I thought it was good.
With videos, when people want me to help them with casting videos, I do struggle a little bit because I didn't do one. So like when you get the opportunity to kind of pay it forward in a way next season when people are wanting to know how to audition, I really encourage people to post their audition videos if you can at all, and then help people as much as what's reasonable with their own kind of with tips and pointers towards it. So
absolutely. We're in this together, and that's exactly when I saw Arlie's. I saw Peter Brown. I saw Alec. I saw John Parties. And I even watched like people who didn't make it, and I would feel like I would look what maybe, and I would try to critique why didn't they make it, why did it, but it's all be yourself. Don't try to jazz it up. They know what they're looking for, so just talk. Because that in Big Brother, you just talk. So just talk, right? But no, I definitely want to help everybody out because again, those people helped me get to where I'm at, how I made my video. When I watched John Parties, he was a one and done. He literally just sat in front of that thing, didn't put a shirt on, just talking to himself. And I was like, that's what I got to do. Perfect.
Sounds about right. That sounds right about right.
Yeah. Have you seen it?
I don't think I have seen it. I don't think I have. I've only seen Arlie's, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Arlie's got a great one.
I don't know if I've seen Peter's or Alex.
Well, yeah, and as far as helping other people, the way I look at it is I'm just a lucky fan that got on. So I'm nobody. I owe it to anybody that wants to try to get on, have the same opportunity I did. And, I want to help them the best I can.
Had a horse with my that day. Like, that's how I see it. Like,
yeah. Absolutely. Well, all right. Well, hey, let's kind of get the game rolling. First week, you've entered the house. There is no one HOH. Everyone's HOH.
Well, give me. Willow, you're a big fan. I want to hear like walking through those doors. Put me in your place? Like, how do you feel? What's it like meeting the new people? I'm just kind of curious about this.
You walk through those doors and it's surreal. It's like game starts now, and right away, all I'm thinking is because my only worry was the girls because of what we had from season 2. And I just knew the type of person I was. I got along with the guys. I struggled with making girlfriends. I was like, the biggest worry was like the girls. And I was also worried about being the last group in the house. That was my biggest fear.
So what are you thinking from Big Brother Canada too? Are you thinking like you're gonna be like the Allison character, or like I'm confused?
Yeah, actually, I was still struggling with the type of character, the type of personality that they were putting me as because I love Allison, I love Jillian. But then I was like, I felt like they were going to put another athletical threat in there, and my personality is a little differently from Allison and Jillian's. Right? I do have that social side to me. So I was really kind of conflicted of who I was. I was like, am I a Tala? Like,
Yeah.
the thing I can do is say, I'm going to be Willow. Like that, this is the newest, like the best thing that you can do is and not try to think about past seasons.
Absolutely.
Sure.
And that. So as soon as I open the doors and people greet me, I'm counting because I'm like, I don't want to be the last group because of alliances, because of bed picking.
Yeah.
Sure. First five from last season. Sure. Yeah.
And we've seen it. The connections you make, right? That extra 30 minutes helps. And you've seen that with Sarah and B and people from the first 6 that did come into our house. So right away I was like, okay, we're second group. This is great. The girls have their shoes off. They're very real. They're awesome. I'm like, thank God. Let me get these heels off. Let's just be. And that was the best feeling ever.
Great. Okay. Well, the first twist of the season comes along, and everyone is HOH. All right, what are you smiling about?
I was like, are you kidding me? Like Canada, like, oh God. It was like, you guys know how nerve-wracking you are in that house.
Oh, sure.
Absolutely.
Sure. Absolutely.
And then let's be honest, who wants to win HOH first night? Like who literally wants to be HOH, right?
Yeah.
And
No.
Especially my character as an athletical woman, it wasn't something that I wanted to have. And then we're all HOHs, and you're paranoid as
Oh yeah.
like,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, when you get the chance to go vote, your votes are interesting. You voted for Sarah and Cindy. Why? What about Sarah spooked you from the beginning?
Right away, I love Sarah. Great person. I could see how friendly she was. Her social game was amazing. I don't think I've ever told her this, but I noticed what she was doing. When she would talk to people, she would touch them. She would bring them in. I also noticed she was counting things in the house. She was light bulb as to what I was. And this girl, we talked about being super fans, and I could see how smart she was. And she was using certain things to get tells on people, and I noticed that right away. I also looked her up and down and said, I can beat this girl if we're up against each other in veto, right? She's very strong. So that's why. And I knew Cindy with an S. Right away I could tell from the just kind of the energy from the house and how everybody was taking her. She was going to be put on too, so I might as well jump the crowd as well and say, you know what, you stuck yourself out there. Let's take advantage of this.
Okay. All right.
So I went with both of them. What I wanted to do, and what a lot of them did, is obviously take 2B players. But I was, for some reason, convinced that they were going to show our votes.
Yes. This is okay. One thing I want to know about Cindy is, with this being the voting system, where everybody nominates 2 people. She was going around saying that I'm Cindy with an S business. Okay. That's something that she, in her edit, it showed her saying that a lot and so on and so forth. Do you think that she got nominated a lot strictly because people could remember her name, if nothing else?
I think people could remember her name. I think that was her impression. It was, she just was all about herself. When you have a conversation with someone, it has to be 2 ways, right? And it was, and you guys can see it as well. It was kind of, I'm Cindy with an S. This is me. You sit Cindy down and see, what did you learn from the other house guests? She nominated Pilar and didn't know her name. Like, to me, I'm like, you have to take and give. And that's what I think the host saw, right?
Okay. All right. Well, right on. Well, let's kind of storm through this because you have safety this week. You know, you're on the block. There is a lot going on though this week because you become a member of the Chop Shop. Chop Shop forms day 2. Is that the day that you enter day 2?
We entered so day 1 we had that, and then day 2, that is what happens. Day 2, so we're still holding that balloon. That is our challenge. And actually what happens is I jump up on a washing machine. Unfortunately, you guys don't have live feeds. You can't see this. And I see Greg. And right away, I knew I needed, because I analyzed all the girls and all the guys, I needed people to shield me. And I knew if you made an alliance within the first 5 days, you would have some type of bond, even if it blew up or anything, to these people, at kind of a ties, right? Alliance kind of brings people together.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
So
Sure.
I've already, analyzed all my people, and you have, like, you connect with people right away. Right away, I was like, Greg needs to be the guy in front of me, because literally, like, this guy he's a loose cannon. I need him. So I jump up, and I knew he would get the ball rolling, and he wouldn't care to stick his neck out. I knew to give him information, and he would just go with it. And I would never get in trouble. Like, me giving Greg something would, in my mind, would never backlash on me. Not yet, anyway. So when I went, I sat on a washing machine, literally in front of the whole house. They could see what we were doing, and we talked. And I said, "Do you want to start an alliance?" And he said, "Yeah, absolutely." And he said, "I'm going to say a guy, you say a person." And because I was thinking around a 4 or 5 person alliance. Again, I wasn't looking to get final 8 or final 9. I just wanted a group of people, kind of like the brigade. And that's the super fan coming out of me, like, hopeful, wishing that we can do that. And that hardly ever happens. And he said, Bruno is my guy. And I said, okay, well, Zach. I right away I connected with Zach. He was a strong athletical threat. People obviously wanted him out, but he was personable. And he was very good at his social game. So I needed him in front of me as well, but it was good to have him on my team. And then Greg asked me, who else? And I say JP, because I love JP. I think JP is the best from our season. And Greg gives me a big F no. I'm like, damn it. And then the next is Sarah, because I knew she was the smartest person in that house. And I adored her, and I wanted to work with her. And again, he gave me the big fuck you. No. So I was like, okay. And then he goes, Bobby. So I'm like, all right. Like, he and a bunch of guys. I'm like, this is going well. So he's like, oh, do you want more? And I'm like, no, cut it off there. Like, we're good. Like, this is fine. Like, at least these boys will shield me and get me through. And I'll make these connections with these guys. And hopefully they'll just, I'll be a vote, and they'll string me along as much as we can. And it will give me time. That was my thing, is they will build me. I just needed time.
Gotcha.
And then the boys come to me. Okay, so then Greg's like, I'll talk to them and we'll get back to it. Within an hour, guys, I'm not joking, he comes up to me. He's like, okay, we're in the chop shop. This is the symbol.
It's like, here's the paperwork. This is our official sign.
Here.
He comes up. He's like, yeah, we asked Ashley. And I love Ashley, but I was like, who's Ashley? Like, I was like, but I was like, good. I needed another girl with me. As much as I was like, oh, great, final 6. But I was like, at least another, because those boys could have just kicked me off, right? They could have just picked me apart. Having another woman in there was great. And then I was like, okay, like, hopefully this works. And unfortunately, that just blows up within the next day.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. I would like to talk about your relationship with Zach early on. Because I know that in the past you've said that you played, that one of your regrets is playing like 35 days of Zach's game.
Yeah.
I don't know if you still feel that way. We'll kind of get to that as we get that deep into it. But where does your relationship with Zach form? Is it this week with Chop Shop?
Right away, day 1, even with Zach, like, we just kind of hit it off. We were able to, like, talk and have, like, not that fake conversation. He got my humor, I got his. He was very mature for his age. I liked the way that he represented himself, and I liked that he was ready to talk game. He was the first person I really talked game with, him and JP. And I could tell that those two were kind of forming something as well. So I wanted to be whatever that part was. So right away, like that. And then once we were in the chop shop and we, Zach and I could break off and talk about this, I was like, this is perfect. But I told him right away, you are my guy, because I knew that guy. Like, I could look at him right away. He's an athlete. He was built. He wanted to win, and he would do whatever it takes. So I wanted him to bring me as long as he could in those times. You know what I mean? Like, he was just going to beast out. And my goal was to just kind of, again, just kind of have Zach as my shield or on the side. but play my social game as well as I could. And I knew I could win certain comps as well. But Zach was just a great guy to have on your side because I watched. He had everybody. Everybody was
Sure.
just loving Zach.
Everybody talked game with Zach. They
Right.
loved early on in the game. He had so much control over things because everybody was sharing their game with him. But yeah, okay. So you're saying like there's a connection with Zach day one. Is there any point yet that you and Sarah have had any kind of conversation, started bonding?
A little bit. If you watch some of the things too, and I've been going back on the live feeds too, because you forget what's going on there too. I was always vying for Sarah's kind of attention, and same with Neha.
Okay.
Those two
Okay.
women I wanted on my side.
Gotcha.
I talked a lot of game with Godfrey the first night as well, and I was like, this guy's going to be perfect. But I mean, the first night is hard to judge anyway. You need kind of, I would like to say, 48 hours to see how people adapt, see how people are dealing
Sure.
with everything, and relationships evolve. I, again, was trying to take, a step back as much as I can, too, because my strategy was to make the hostess think that I had no strategy. So I was just, there for the experience and have the time of my life. So I always had to draw myself back, even though I was ready to talk game, and I was so excited with Sarah and Neha, and I could see that happening, and I was just waiting for it. But I knew those girls weren't going to come after me. I kind of tried to figure out where I was with targets with people, and I thought walking into this group, I was like, I might be okay for a bit. And that might be or anything, but I thought, okay, I'm not the biggest threat. I felt like Neha put herself ahead of me.
Sure.
And so I thought, okay.
Yep. Okay. All right. So after that first week when Risha goes, after that Bobby wins HOH, hey, that's no sweat for you. You're in the chop shop with Bobby. That's an easy week. So nothing to worry about there.
Right.
Bobby was going to maintain loyalty to the chop shop. So you're really kind of smooth sailing. That's, I guess, day 15. Kevin wins HOH for instant eviction. And you don't know it. Nobody knows it's instant eviction this time. So just tell me a little bit about during the time that Neha was trying to she's doing some things in the house. Where were you positioned there? What was your relationship with Kevin at this point? And what were you trying to do during these hours before you realized before you were told it was instant eviction?
Right away, I knew that Kevin was my biggest target. I watched this guy and was like, that he is like, I could just tell. The way he was, his social game, his flirtiness. He was a smart guy. I could see that. He couldn't even hide that. And, just even watching him with that puzzle in the first veto, I was like, this guy is a genius. Like, I knew I had to get him out soon. And I was watching him. He's a gamer. He's a player. And he, again, like I said, a big social guy. So I needed him out ASAP. So that was something that the Chop Shop, I try to push on them and give them, that. Neha was never somebody that I was like, okay, like I knew she was really good, but I thought, we'll get her when we need to. But I did at some point want to have, something with Neha and Sarah on the side, but it just never kind of got there. With Kevin, though, Kevin, again, we had a good connection. We could talk, and his social game was great, but I knew he had something with Zach and JP. I just was like, I didn't think that Zach and JP took him seriously, to be honest.
Okay.
Right? Because even when the Chop Shop would talk about targets, Zach would never try to get Kevin off there. So I was like, their alliance must be not that strong to me. If Zach's not trying so hard to keep his boy off the block.
Mm-hmm. Or Zach's playing it cool.
Right. And I knew that. Zach came to me on day 3 and said, Chop Shop's not that loyal. And I was like, it's not? And he's like, it's going to break. And I was so devastated at first, but he was like, we're going to ride this thing out together. And it was good to know that. And I started to realize Zach was going to play as many people as he could. And I saw that with Neha as well. So, when Kevin wins, I'm like, oh, okay. Because of course Ashley almost won. Of course you want the Chop Shop always in control. And you don't know where these people's heads are at. But I felt okay with Kevin. I felt like Kevin's going to, make an okay move in it. Hopefully I won't be a pawn or anything like that. But
Sure.
I needed to, but this was like a breaking moment because I was like, I need to know where Kevin lies. And I knew Neha was trying to start things. You probably see, when she tries to put the house by the pool.
Yep.
I come out there at least 6 times because I know what they're trying to do. And I was trying to always be in certain conversations with people. I was trying to always just be there because sometimes you're there at the right time, and people just bring you in, or you
Sure.
just hear things, and that was I was trying to
At
do
this point,
really quickly.
I kind of want to ask you, like, whose game are you trying? Were you trying to emulate any games like of previous players? Um, w- I don't know. Like, I don't want to lead you down any paths or anything, but were you trying to? Did you think about that when you were in the house at this point? Like, are you trying to emulate anyone's games that you've seen play before?
Pre going into the house, I was like, okay, I'm gonna be Janelle, I'm gonna be Jillian, I'm gonna be Stoat. Like, I'm a very athletic person,
Hmm.
and I was like, I'll just win, 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 and people will want to work with me. These comps are very hard, and I didn't realize how good my social game was until I got in there, and I was like, this is to my benefit.
Hmm.
And then as I started to work, yeah, Andy Heron worked out as well. Spencer, your game as well, like it was just kind of like the fun loving, like, you know what I mean? Like, do not come off as a threat.
Hmm.
Do not make anyone uncomfortable, and just kind of be like, we'll worry about them later. That
Sure.
was what I needed to do. Especially when I had all these, like, you had people like Greg, you had people like Neha, that were just going so hard so quickly that I was like, I don't need to do anything right now. So I
Okay.
needed to take a step back. And that's what I went in there. You adapt more and more as the weeks go by. And I think everybody can take something from somebody's game from every season. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Just
Sure.
like yeah,
Would
but
you?
you saying
Go ahead.
you going out there and like going out there and just like checking up, being a part of every single conversation. Like it totally reminds me of Andy Heron or Judd. Totally a Judd game move. And like I think that like a lot of people like definitely pegged you as like that character, not character, I guess I should say, but like that type of player where it's like you want to be, yeah, exactly. You want to be in every single conversation. You're gonna keep tabs on every single person, and I thought it was 100% just super smart. Just good gameplay, really good gameplay.
Yeah.
But yeah,
You need it.
I'm glad that you definitely said
Patient
Andy
is
Heron.
key in that house, right? And
Absolutely.
right, if I wasn't winning comps, I needed something to sell to other people, and I needed something that I was valuable for. And
Hmm.
if I had all this information, people
Sure.
were going to want it and use it and use it to my advantage. So it was like, let's see where everyone's mind's at.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. So at this point in the game, I mean, we're here at day 15, I guess, because we're still kind of within those hours before Neha leaves. What is your relationship with Brittany?
Brittany, right away, I love that. Like when I first walked in, her and Sarah were probably the most real to me. Like I connected with them. I loved them. I really like Brittany, but again, I couldn't get a good read on her at first. I could kind of pinpoint where Neha and Sarah were, and I could tell that they were gamers and what they were doing. Brittany, I wasn't too sure. There was rumors that she was a recruit. There was rumors they were pinpointing her just as a model, and I was trying to get a good read, which is amazing for her because I had everybody pretty much pinpointed, but Brittany I could not. So, I thought we had a good kind of relationship. Oh, it's all good, but I thought she was playing almost the same game as me, as low key, hiding behind Sarah, let her do her work, and B was then slowly going to come out. So again, I didn't find myself like trying to approach Brittany as much as I needed to because I was like, she's not somebody that's playing as hard as some of these other characters.
Okay, so like especially at this time, because she's been on the block as the pawn, I guess twice now. Wow, yeah, twice. So like really, honestly, you didn't take Brittany serious as somebody that's going to be around long. You're protected by numbers in the chop shop, and at that point in time, the relationship with Brittany was not important for you to build. And I'm not being critical. That almost sounds like I'm being critical. But like in the house, when you start socializing, there's only so many hours in the day, and there's so many people in the house. You can only focus energies in relationships, and just to so many people. So I totally get that. But I just wanted to know because your relationship with Brittany is obviously going to be important later,
Yes.
and we'll get to that. So all right, well. We find out it's instant eviction. It's unfortunate, but Neha goes. She's out of the house. But while she was there, she united a group of people whose basically main goal was to take out Chop Shop, and that was being your main alliance. So now Brittany is HOH. You have no relationship with her. She went from the pawn to HOH this week. And but their main target is Greg. in your plan of having meat shields, and Greg definitely being a lot of people's meat shield early, he was just must have been so loud and just obnoxious that everybody knew he would go before them.
Dangly meat. He was a dangly piece of meat.
He was just dripping
Yeah.
juicy, waiting to be evicted.
Oh, yeah. He was
And
good.
oh yeah, and well, so Brittany was able to backdoor him. He's out of the house now. Next week, Bruno again. You got a chop shop man in charge. You're chilling, so you really had a fairly easy. We're getting deep into the game. We're getting because Johnny's going to leave on day 28, and as far as your place in the house, that don't mean a shit to you. You're looking good, really.
Yeah.
Numbers wise, you're looking pretty good. So like we've gotten deep into the game, and just your being likable, your relationships, and you're being loyal to this chop shop that honestly, after Greg leave, doesn't really exist anymore. This kind of false loyalty, or like you said early, these kind of relationships are keeping you safe, and you're doing really good. So let me know. Johnny leaves the house. No big deal to you. He wasn't on your side. Cindy comes back. What does Cindy returning do for your game?
Well,
Because from the point where Jordan leaves, and we'll get to that, your game takes kind of a shift, and we'll talk about that when it comes there. But Cindy is really, you can mark her return of day 30 is where a lot of people's games take a shift. So talk to me about Cindy's return.
Cindy's return. So anybody coming into the house was a benefit to me. What was happening is the chop shop is now dismantled. You know, I know that Zach's not loyal. I used to be Zach's, I thought, number one or number two. He's not telling me as much information. He's with Jordan till 3 a.m. in the morning. You know, I'm starting to watch what he is, and I'm seeing Sarah get upset about certain relationships with him as well. I'm starting to realize that Zach has a lot of number ones and number twos.
Did he think he had you in his pocket?
Absolutely, and I could tell that, you know, and everybody else thought that as well too. And even, you know, when him and Ashley form their showmance or their alliance, their biggest worry was how I was going to take it. And I literally just wanted Zach and I to just, you know, fight it out and go to the end. It wasn't something I was looking for, like a showmance or anything like that. You know, I was there to play the game. But it was great for Zach to think that I was so, you know, in love and invested in him, because he felt like he had me, and I had to keep that. Like right away, I knew to play dumb or downplay it, or, you know, I watched them get. They were super intimidated by Neha. They were super intimidated by Sarah. So any information I had, I would keep it into myself. Any opinion or anything, I would not show it, and I would just be this emotional, sad, loving Willow, and that was just easy for people to adapt and kind of, you know, be like, oh, like, let's bring her in. And again, Zach did not like to feel threatened, so I knew that. Once he took out Neha, I knew, I was like, this guy is like, he's in it, and you cannot make him feel threatened, so I knew how to play that there. So Cindy coming back, of course, like, I knew, like, Cindy is a huge threat to me. She kills endurance comps. Those are supposed to be my comps. And she's very, very smart, way smarter than I could ever be. But her coming back, I knew that targets were going to shift towards her. Things were going to switch up. And I needed a way out to kind of break from Zach. I wanted to work with Sarah so badly since like since like day 5. So I was just waiting. And you guys can see, if you watch the feeds, every night I try to like break myself into her a little more and more, and I'm giving her a little more information. I'm trying to break that wall down, but it's very, and you guys know this is very scary, especially you're week 5 and you're gonna like kind of switch. It was so scary, but I needed to do it. I knew
honest, like, this is my favorite part of the season. This was, I thought, the most interesting part was when you are trying to work on Sarah, and then Sarah is almost trying to work on you, and like for an audience, we don't really know like what's really the dynamic. Do you remember the day, maybe night, where Zach hits you in the head with a pillow or something like that? Yep. This is the day that, like, to me, I felt like this is the turning point for you and Zach's relationship. Zach still thought he had you, and I could tell from your body language that you were so, like, just pissed off by him, and that was when, like, you just wanted to, like, really make the move with Sarah and, like, start working with her. I don't know if I'm right or wrong. I don't know. Explain that kind of. Where was the turn with Zach, and it was just like, I'm done with Zach?
Absolutely. Well, it was like, you know, once I the whole thing putting Jordan up and him not keeping us in the loop. He did try to tell me certain things. He would say like, I'm going to turn on Bobby and Bruno, and I was like, oh, okay. He would try to tell me little things. But that week was so messy, and no one knew where his head was. And then Jordan, who I thought I had too, Jordan started to get messy and slippy as well too. And I was like, and I was seeing things come out of Sarah, and I was like, hey, this is like people who I thought they were not, and people showed their true colors, and I was like, I need to. Then I started to realize like people aren't taking me seriously, and the last few people to leave, Johnny told me too, that no one took me seriously, and I was a floater, and I was like, I need to wake up. So every person that left, I would ask them, just pretty much like tell me like this is your last like kind of give me everything that you have. I want to play, and it was thank God for Johnny for telling me these things, and I started to realize like these are the alliances. We have Kevin and Jordan. We have the three boys, Kevin, Jordan, and Zach. I see that Sarah's giving Zach information. I see that Zach's playing every single side. Then now Zach has Ashley, and Chop Chop doesn't really exist, and Bruno has. So
you didn't see any of that. Like your eyes were completely open then.
Yes, I right away. As soon as Jordan got up and I started to realize this, I was like, "Hey, I needed something to happen. Like I couldn't just run to Sarah and be like, "Okay, I'm ready to." You know what I mean? So when Cindy came back, that I knew was like, "Okay, the game's about to change," because I knew Cindy would be on Sarah's side. I knew that they would need numbers, and I knew that they needed me. So I was like, I was like, I need to pry on this.
Okay.
Smart.
Do you think that your relationship with do you think that by being a member of the Chop Shop you didn't build some of the relationships you needed to, so gaining trust with Sarah and Brittany, especially Brittany, was kind of slow going? If you'd have been more of a floater instead of actually being part of a big alliance, do you think you would naturally gravitated towards that side of the house and been extreme? Because I know that I've heard you say in the past that your plan was to find one person to be loyal to that person to the end. Zach was your first person, and then it became Sarah. So do you think the Chop Shop really kind of impaired your social game at the beginning?
Absolutely, because I was just and Bobby like too. We were just so faithful. So we were just like, okay, this is what we want to do. But Zach and Bruno were just just so great gamers, and I love their game so much. Bruno, genius, and I should have done the same thing and just not been loyal. But I wanted to play a loyal game because that's who I am, right?
Sure.
And I just was like, that's what I need to do to keep sanity in there and be who I was. So when I first got in there, I thought that when Brittany won HOH, we were starting to turn something because, she kept me in the loop a little bit. We kind of, me and her were up against each other the very last for that HOH, and she was telling me I'm safe. And I trusted her, and we started to slowly have that. But again, like you guys know, you only have so many hours, so many times. So, and again, you don't want to show all your cards to everybody. Absolutely. So I just had to pick and choose. So again, I don't know, like being the floater to everybody, I wanted to just have my information and give it to certain people that would give back to me, that would give me something. And Brittany to me didn't have anything yet, but I definitely should have started working with her a lot sooner than when I tried to do. Absolutely. That is one of my downfalls. Probably should have started when she was HOH. I probably should have started wheeling in. But I was, again, you're scared in there. You're paranoid. So I didn't want to upset Zach. I didn't want to start.
You don't want to show one side that you're leaning too close to the other side. Okay. Well, that's going to be your game is going to kind of tighten up as far as where you're going to float between coming up in the next few days here, because Jordan leaves and you're in the minority of the votes. You're on the wrong side of the votes for that one, okay? Which is fine because Peely's about to win HOH. So you've been loyal, okay? Well, this is the point in the game where the Chop Shop's been exposed. You kind of see what's going on. You see, you like you just said, your eyes have been open to what's happening. And this is the point where there's the Diaper Alliance that's formed that you're not in, but they depend on you as a number, and you're able to hear their game talk. So you're kind of reporting a lot of stuff back to Sarah during these next few days, because, like I said, they're going after Cindy. Cindy's the target. Cindy leaves that next week. You're really in good shape to kind of kind of start playing what this becomes like the new version of your game, because you're kind of going between the diapers and the fembots. Okay, so Cindy leaves. Like I said, that's a week where that's really fine for you. You're able to kind of, your game is stepping up, evolving, gaining speed, working towards that final 5, final 6 area where you're planning on winning comps and going towards the end with people that you have showed loyalty to. So then next week, Kevin wins HOH again. That is that's really good for you. Like you're on, they include you as a number. They want to get out the threat of Bobby. Bobby at this point has proven that he could be dangerous. He's kind of a loose end that needs to be taken care of. So Kevin knocks him out. Now this is, I guess Kevin's HOH is day 42 maybe, and Bobby leaves day 49 because that's a triple eviction. So this is really when, honestly, the wheels fall off of it right here. I used that phrase earlier with Jordan, but that's the thing. You're playing a game that you've got really alliances on both sides. This is what's interesting about your game. Had you stayed, and depending on who wins HOH, one side or the other is going to lose 2 big numbers.
Yes.
And whichever side is powerful, you will have allies on that side. So your game right up to this point is going to be fine until, of all the things, Bruno plays this POV, and you go up on the block, and 5 minutes later, you're talking to Arissa. So, I mean, like, there's honestly, Willow, the game, I'm so, like, watching your eviction was one of the most pitiful things I've ever watched. Honestly, I'm so sorry. It broke my heart. I love you so much. I want you to know that you did not play a bad game. You should be very proud of the way you went. You just, you were the victim. You were a victim of Bruno's game that he was trying to play by keeping this, human shield in front of him, and who in a million years would have thought he'd have done that with Zach. And then Brittany never really trusting you, and your relationship with Sarah scaring the shit out of Brittany. So it was almost, your game got snuffed out almost because it was the perfect storm. In all honesty, I mean, who the shit would have seen a triple eviction coming? If anybody else was H, you never would have gone home. The only reason you even considered is because your relationship with Sarah scared Brittany, and Brittany had to separate you two so that she could have firm control moving forward, which, in all honesty, it was the right move for Brittany. It really was. But anybody else had gone home, that instead of you would have been in a great position moving forward, final 5, final 6, and maybe even final 4. And then it would have been comps from there for you, which you're athletic enough to have done well at, and smart enough to handle the other challenges. So, Willow, you played a great game, and you were entertaining and fun, and it was like we said off camera before we started, and I've said on the podcast before and several other podcasts, the one thing that aggravated me about this season is that there wasn't enough time for good game players to campaign. It would have been interesting to see what you would have done, because somebody that was playing both sides, had you had the chance to campaign, you would have had to have basically rallied the numbers of one side and then been loyal to that side. And so there's all sorts of things that you not being able to campaign eliminated. But you were great, great fun to watch, and you're a sweetheart. And I appreciate you talking us through this.
To grab Sarah and be like, I just need your vote, and I would have been
yeah, exactly.
Well, that's one of the things that's like, well, from her perspective, it seems like it was like a decent move. It seemed like a weird strategic move, and like she was thinking of things, and you got the short end of the stick, like in pretty much all regards of everyone's game, like. And it's like literally nothing you could have done. I really think, I mean, shit, you were, I have a draft pick for like my like Twitch like followers and stuff, and you were my number one like girl. I was like, oh my god, Will's gonna fucking destroy shit. And sure enough, you fucking killed stuff. Like no one could have ever guessed that a twist would come along and fuck you up. Like no one could have guessed that. It literally, like Spencer said, it was a perfect storm. And you can see in my draft that so many people picked you because like you just had that. I don't know. You just had that personality of like you could win the game, and sure enough, like if there wasn't this twist season, you would have probably. I don't know. Who knows, really?
Willow.
But shit. I mean, you played really, really good. I don't think you made any mistakes, really. Even the ending, like, ooh, you could have got closer to Brittany, blah, blah. No, I don't even think so. I really don't think so. I think it was just you're a victim of circumstance also. The twists fucked you out of a game. I mean...
What did you think when Bruno used that veto? When he used the veto, did you think you were going to be a replacement nom?
Well, to be honest, so what happened like during the triple was like once Brittany won, I felt really good. And again, I don't know what you guys saw and what you didn't. I've been watching the feeds as much as I could and trying to piece it all together because the triple is like, it is still the most cluster fuck of anything.
Oh,
like,
yeah, absolutely.
It's literally like, and when at first I got out right away, people were showing me how devastated Sarah was because I still wasn't getting answers. It still was like the most, like I've watched Big Brother again since for 17 years. I love Big Brother, and I was like, what happened? Like, what did I do? Because even though I knew I flipped those boys, I was like, how am I still sitting there? And those boys are still telling me, and then they tell me that Sarah voted me out, and I was like, okay, great gameplay on her because she manipulated me, but it wasn't. To me, I'm like, I went out on a mistake.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Like, she overthought it.
A clerical error. Yeah.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
So, like, to me, I'm like, I can't. I wish Sarah was like, I manipulated you. You were a great player. I needed to get you out, and then I would feel a lot better of life and everything like that. But it was a mistake. It was
let me tell you that no matter what, you went to.
Who do you think is going to be the renom?
Well, when I went in and I talked to Brittany and we were cheering and we were happy and I told her, I said, tomorrow's going to be endurance. I'm going to kill it. And I knew I had to step it up and I knew I had to save those girls. I was like asking her who was the because I've seen this many times. I knew we weren't going to talk during the veto. So I said, who's your replacement nom? And she kind of was like, oh, I don't know. And I was like, you got to know. Like, you know. So I was like, it could be me. But then Sarah's like, Bruno. And I was like, and I knew Brittany, like, I was like, say something's up. But once Bruno did save Zach, I kind of was like smiling, like, these boys are like with me, so it doesn't really matter. And then I see her not looking around, kind of just going to me, and I was like, what? So right away, obviously, you guys know what it's like to be kind of just like thrown on the block, or, you know, you're sitting there, you're like, your mind goes crazy. So I'm like, did Sarah and B they make this up? Did they do this to me? Like, what is going on? Who can I trust? So right away, I just try to switch the boys. You know, Brittany's telling me I'm safe, and I'm like, I don't believe you don't believe anybody, right? Once you're on the block, everybody's word is shit. Like it's you know, it's right at the window. And I just thought in my back of my mind, I just was like, okay, like Sarah, and I could see she's upset a little bit. I'm like, she's gonna save, like she'll save me. So once I get Bruno and Zach, and they're rubbing my back, and they're like, you're good. I'm like, these boys wouldn't lie to me because I'm devastated. So I'm like, okay, like we're gonna, you know, I'm gonna get out of this, and then we're gonna readjust and figure out everything. But then, you know, it went the complete other way, and I was like, what? So when I left, I literally was like, I hate Bruno and Zach.
Sure.
You took it a little sour. It seemed like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's totally understandable.
Let's put out a hypothetical. I really hate to do hypotheticals because you can't fucking go back and do it. But say you win HOH through that triple eviction, you as a classic floater playing between alliances, what would you have done? Who would you have nominated?
As winning triple, I was ready to make that move. I was ready to say no more floating. Let's play. You know, and you guys know that too. You're at week 7, and there's like 10 of us, or how many of us? Like, how do you play the game? Like, I was ready to kind of jump ship and beast out and go hard, but when there's like 12 of us, I'm like, I can't do these moves. And I think Zach and a lot of us and Bruno can relate. When gamers and we're ready to just break out and we're strategists and we're trying to do this, and you give us so many people, it's hard to make these big moves because numbers are on your side and lines are drawn. So if I won, I was ready, and I wanted to do Zach, Kevin, and I would have done Ashley because Peely and I kind of had this East Coast connection. And I didn't see Peely as a threat, to be honest. Like, I felt like, you know, once I got rid of Ashley, I felt like I was Peely's second. And she was kind of, again, dangling meat to bring to final 3.
Sure.
So, and kind of do that. But Brittany also was, I just wanted to get the final 4 to girls and just let us all, like, just kind of compete over there and try to manipulate each other.
So your dream final four would have been probably Brittany, Sarah, yourself, and Peely.
Yeah.
Final
absolutely.
3 being Sarah, Peely, yourself. Final 2 being you and who? You and Sarah, you and Peely.
Me and Sarah. Like I just
Okay.
and I don't even know if I would win, to be honest, but I was just so invested with her, and I talk a lot about
The loyalty stuff.
loyalty, and I felt okay losing to her. She's an amazing player. You guys know this. You watched
Absolutely.
her. It was an honor to play with her, and I just was like, you know what, this is somebody I want to bring, and if I beat her, I'm going to feel like better about myself. And we did this, and I wanted her to sit at the final two for sure. And she was lucky because B wanted to do the same thing as well. So when I was getting to getting closer, I was like, maybe I should cut B, but I did thought I could maybe, because again, my game was just so, I knew my game I could underplay, just like Godfrey. We could underplay, and I could kind of be that juicy meat that wanted to bring the final two type of thing. But
someone mentioned even that Godfrey said that he, like, after you left, that he was the new Willow.
That's what he said. He said to me, it's like, he was the one to tell me, actually, you're the reason that, I'm the reason you left for the triple. And I was like, thank you, because no one was giving me real answers, and Sarah couldn't tell me because of everybody leaving, and I was like, and he's like, I needed to play your game, so I needed you out. And I was like, I played the Will game. I was like, oh, Godfrey, amazing player, and respect him, and that's awesome.
Absolutely.
And that's, I'm grateful for what I did, and unfortunately I went out the way I did, but 49 days is very hard in there, and to super fans watching, 49 days, you count your stars.
That's it.
Yeah.
Hey, I tell you what, you did play a fun game, a fantastic. Like I said, like I say, floater's not a bad word. Floater is a brilliant game strategy that works season after season after season. And
twist, because you need to have all your bases covered.
Absolutely.
You got some flexibility. Yes,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Turns
So,
like that.
well, Willow, thank you so much for being on here with us. I think that's about it. I think we've covered your game. Like, there's no point in asking who would you have voted for if Sarah would have been next to Ashley or any other combination, because I know your girl Sarah gets the vote every time. So,
but Ashley, like, after watching that episode, like, I've watched the season, and Ashley is like, oh, Ashley.
Ashley.
Easton. Oh.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's
She
a
fucking
stud.
turned it
She's
on
a
when she
stud.
needed to. Yeah.
Yes.
I think,
I was.
underdog story. I think, you know what? I love you, Sarah. Like, you're my girl. But Ashley, if you would have won that final one and brought whoever to, you might have swung me. Like, that is.
That right. That's what I like to hear, because I sang Ashley's praises the whole season. I thought she was kicking ass. And then at the end, when she literally wins out up until the final HOH, I mean,
It's
holy
big.
shit. Like,
That's
that girl
big.
played hard. She played very
I've
hard.
never seen that before. I've watched a lot of Big Brother. I've not seen the ride that she has done.
I've not seen 3 vetoes in a row to get you to the final 3.
No,
I've not seen anybody veto that deep. So, win out that
That's
deep.
awesome. Yeah.
But anyway.
6 off from beating Godfrey in that final too, from that
Oh,
number.
I know.
215, something like that. So I'm so proud of her, and like I said, it's different how everything plays out, but I think, like I said, Sarah's a great play. All 3 of them deserve to be there, but Ashley, what a beast! And she didn't studied, and 4 minutes on that comp. You guys,
That's
4
awesome.
minutes.
Yeah, insanity.
That's incredible. That's incredible
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, I think that definitely if there is a second chances, or if there is an All Stars, I definitely think that you will be one that goes back, because you definitely, like, I mean, your funeral, your eulogizing of yourself. I mean, just like it harkens back to me with Judd. Judd's just somber moments. It's like, to me, like, that is something that, like, will be forever remembered as
You're
just like one of the
talking about-
hardest goddamn moments.
He's talking about Judd's double eviction when Judd got put on the block, and
That was so, like, again, I
it was
felt
so
like-
sad. It's so sad to watch.
It was
you
sad.
and Judd are the 2 saddest Big Brother moments I've ever watched.
Please? Judd and mine should be like, when I was pleading, I was like, I'm Judd. In my mind, I was, it's just so,
well, as soon as I saw it, like, I immediately was, like, back at Judd, and I was like, oh my god, and I was looking at Jess, and I was like, this is the saddest moment ever, and Jess is like, oh, this is so hard. It was like such a sad moment, oh my god. But I think that, like, literally one of those, that moment it solidified your second chance or your all-star moment. I honestly think that. I think that they'll bring you back for sure because you're a fucking kick-ass player. You didn't make any mistakes. It was all twist-based. So I don't know. Yeah, whatever. You were my
We'll
pick.
see.
You fucking
You
killed
Gone
it.
guys-
too
I'll
soon.
pick you.
Gone too soon. All
Gone
right.
too soon. Absolutely.
Well, let's wrap it up. Willow, do you have anything to shout out or to pitch? Do you got a like a meet and greet coming up or anything like that?
No, actually, don't. Peely and I are stuck in PEI right now, people. Peely's car is broke, but we're gonna head back to Nova Scotia. Twitter, Instagram. I'm still learning the whole thing. I'm old, so I'm trying to get with the kids.
How old are you?
I'll be 27 in 1 week.
Oh
June
my
21st.
God, whatever. You're just a year older than me, so whatever.
But we are all, most of us are going to the Stampede in Calgary. I'll be the 30th till the 8th of July, most of us. So hopefully we can do something and see the fans and meet everybody because this has been amazing. And as you guys know, too, it makes you feel better to be loved and be like, appreciated. Like
you are very, very loved. I'm looking at the chat right now, and it's all Willow for All Stars, international Willow fans, just like people from all over the damn place are just going crazy right now. So I mean, there's 159 watching. It's insanity.
Wow, that's big time.
Absolutely
nuts. All
nuts.
right, well, hey, Willow, shout out your social medias, and we'll wrap it up.
All right. Instagram is Willow_Faith. Oh my gosh, my Twitter is like. What is it? At Team Willow
BBC3, yeah. At Team Willow BBC3. It's on the screen right now, so you'll see it.
You guys know I find it. Oh my gosh. Shout out to the Spencer and McCrae. I'm on the block with these boys. You know what they're talking about. Watch this. To anybody that loves the game and you want to please watch this show.
Oh my gosh, whatever. You don't have to push our show. You don't have to push it.
No. Say that.
Yeah. You gave her bills before.
My text mail.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
all right.
And amazing, and I can't wait to see you boys again. Like I can't.
What about finale? What are you doing for 17 finale? Big Brother 17.
What are we going to LA? Are we, boys?
Let's go. Let's do it.
Going.
Let's do it.
See you there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Book it.
Okay, done.
So,
done.
Spencer, what do you got to plug?
Man, nothing tomorrow. We don't really have anything set up. I would like to find one person to interview. I don't know, but we do have Peely set up for 5 o'clock Central Time on Sunday, and Godfrey at 7 on Sunday. So that's going to be
solid.
2 good ones. But yeah, hopefully, maybe we can get a hold of like Brittany or Kevin or somebody tomorrow, or Bobby, because we got to knock those out. Anyway, but no, follow me at Spencer B. Clausen. Make sure you subscribe. Hit this the thumbs up button on this video. Copy this link, paste this link, share this link, share
everything.
Share button. Do it all.
I've got nothing to plug.
Watch this interview.
Yeah,
right.
I got nothing.
Crazy got nothing.
No, thank you, Willow. Thank you so much, Willow.
Taking it out.
All right, take care, everyone. See you later. Willow, thank you so much. We appreciate it. We love you. Oh my God, please come back for something or something else.
Yeah. Show me.
Final 3 right here.
Final 3.
Final 3. I'm in. Pinky swears. All right. See you guys later. Everyone, take care. Thanks, everyone. And again, thanks, Will. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys. Love you.
See ya.